got a bit of a confession to make. We all make mistakes, okay? Waking up in the darkness of early morning to howling wind and heavy rain is never encouraging as a landscape photographer. However, I do believe that the best conditions often happen just after the worst weather. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for some good light this morning. I'm going to a location that I know well and that's very accessible. Whether or not the rain eases and allows for some photography will remain to be seen. Well, unfortunately, that location wasn't to be. It's a great location on a great day, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't working for me today. So I've decided, rather than waste more time there, where I'm not really getting the feeling, I'm going to head to a different location, which I think might work a lot better. So, really excited, and if conditions remain the same as they are now, and hopefully I'll get the shot I'm after. Another change of plan. The location that I scouted out the other day, which is up there, is, for want of a better word, brutal. It's freezing cold, windy as hell, and the rain just keeps coming. So it's so hard to work in conditions like this. So instead I've dropped down into the valley and I really just want to shoot those, the Langdale pikes. They look fantastic. I'm going to use a long lens. I'm going to go in tight, frame them, try and emphasize the size and the grandeur of the mountains. And then I'm just going to wait, because this shot will not work unless we get a burst of sunlight. And the sun is directly behind me to the south. Langdale pikes are to the north, so you know, everything is lined up perfectly. We just need the sky to cooperate, the clouds to part for a brief second and give us a lovely burst of sunlight. So you'd be amazed at how many times I've walked back and forth along this footpath. And I don't mean back and forth as in 2 kilometres or something like that. I'm talking 20 feet. And when you're shooting with a long lens in a landscape like this, those inches, those millimetre differences that you make with the position of your camera dramatically affect the composition as a whole. Right, let me try and explain. You see, it's all about perspective and the relationship between these mountains and this hill. So by moving the camera, you can dramatically change your perspective and the relationship between those two shapes. For example, if I put my finger directly in front of my face and bring the camera this way, the finger is now on this side. If I swing the camera around here, it's on this side. So you can see how by moving the camera, it really changes the relationship between elements in the composition, i.e. my finger and my face. And the same works for trees and mountains and all sorts. So I was after a nice even balance between the hill on the left and the big mountains in the background. Of course, all of this might be a big waste of time if we don't get any of that light. But I am prepared to wait here for some time. And there definitely are breaks in the weather. We just need it to we need a bit of luck, basically. We just need a little bit of luck. Come on. Did I mention that the cabin where I'm staying has a hot tub and a fridge full of beer and chocolate digestives? Sometimes I question what I'm doing, you know. I don't know. Something's happening. I just saw some light, and I'm not kidding. It didn't fall where I wanted it to, and it lasted for about 2.5 seconds. Gone. But there was light. And if there was light then, there might be light soon. We're getting light again, we're getting light. It's still not where I want it, but we did actually get some light on the foreground, which definitely lifted the composition. But I'm still holding out for light on those mountains at the back. This is unbearable. So I guess today it wasn't meant to be. I think I waited for about 2 hours and it just didn't happen. I did actually get some lovely light on the foreground, which made for a great image, so I'm happy with that. I'm pretty sure I've got an image there. I'm just disappointed that I didn't get the light I had hoped for and the light that I wanted. But that's photography. If it was easy, it'd be boring. So definitely one to come back to. But for now, I think it's time to move on and see if we can find something else and see if we can find some better conditions as well. Sometimes after a long, hard day, there's nothing better than a nice hot casserole and a cup of tea. And that's exactly what I'm doing, but it's the photography equivalent of casserole and tea. I have come up to Lowrig Fell to take a classic image overlooking Lake Windermere with hopefully a gorgeous sunset. It's a nice image. It's a well photographed image. It's even in one of the guidebooks. But after the day I've had today, I couldn't care less, because this is a photograph I have not taken before. So I'm very excited. Right, let's get set up. So I just wasn't in the mood for any real exploration and trying new things. It's just been a pretty cold, wet, miserable, windy day. I've not had much luck on the photography side of things. So yeah, just thought I'd come for something simple, obvious, postcardy, but still gives me great pleasure. Got a bit of a confession to make. We all make mistakes, okay? And I'm no different. Now, the warmest area on the human body is your armpit. And that is where I've been keeping this battery. Because, and don't ask how because I don't know, I left my spare battery in the car. And this one has just died. But it's very cold up here, so I'm hoping if I warm it up in my armpit, it'll give me just enough juice for one exposure. Oh, honestly, it's just been one of them days today. Just been one of those days. So I'm waiting till the sun sets and I'm hoping for some lovely colour in the sky. and then I'm probably going to take the only image that I have power to take. Fingers crossed. Right, to add insult to injury, the battery on this camera is going as well. I've just got enough juice to do a couple of exposures and then going for a 6-stop filter, 30-second exposure, because it's really windy and I want to get the motion in the clouds. I want to flatten off the water in the lake. You can see the gorgeous sky I've got behind me, just casting this lovely warm glow over the whole scene. F11, 30 seconds, 6-stop filter, lovely composition, classic view. Shame about the circumstances. Come on, battery, come on. I certainly don't think I can be accused of sugarcoating my photography. Let's be honest, today was a bad day. Sometimes it is, sometimes that's just the way. I challenge any photographer to tell me they've never had a bad day. I mean, you can always blame the conditions, you can blame your equipment, you can blame yourself, but sometimes things just don't work. Today the weather was not playing ball, certainly in the morning, and this afternoon it definitely got better, and then it was my error leaving my battery. I can't believe I left my batteries in the car. I've never done that before. I have no excuse. It's just shocking amateurish behaviour. But it survived. The battery was flashing at me. It was flashing saying I'm gonna die, and it didn't. Maybe it's because I put it under my armpit, who knows. Anyway, another day in the life of me, a landscape photographer. So if you've enjoyed this content, even though today might not have been the best video, but either way, if you've enjoyed it and you like what I do, please do subscribe, like, comment. I'll read them all, sometimes reply. And yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now. Next week's video is going to be a questions and answers. So if you have a question, anything you'd like to know, anything at all, but please keep it clean, just go onto Twitter, use the hashtag #AskTom, and in next week's video I'll do a massive Q&A, hopefully answering lots of questions that people want to know.